And sometimes we love it so much that we'll overspend to get it. It's being called Spaving. It's a combo of spending and saving, and it refers to thinking that you're saving money, but you're actually spending it. Sounds strange? Well, listen, we brought a friend to the show here, Tony Drake from Drake & Associates, to break it all down for us. Tony, Spaving. I don't think I've ever heard of this before. What's going on here?
Yeah, that's a tough one. You got to say it fast 3 times, Frankie. But, like you said, it's this idea of, hey, I'm going to get a great deal, but to do that, I have to spend more money. We've all seen it, whether it's online retailers. Sometimes if you spend just a little bit more, you get free shipping. There's those last minute items right at the counter.
I think I might be victim to that one.
Oh, you and me both. I do it all the time online. And it can really add up. Sometimes it's these deals where if you buy 3, you get a discount on a 3rd. And sometimes you don't really need those extra items, but that extra spending, especially if the budget's tight, if you're trying to save for something, trying to save for retirement, that extra spending can really get you.
What problems does Spaving cause now? Because now I'm really interested now. Because see, I've done this before. You know what I'm saying? You spend $10 extra, you get the free shipping. You spend $10 extra, you don't have to pay the small purchase fee that sometimes different companies have.
Yeah, these companies have gotten really gifted at trying to get us to spend more to save. And for, I think, so many people, frankly, especially in this high inflationary environment we've been in, household budgets are tight. And if you're spending more than you can afford to spend, that might put you in a bad position. About 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. And it's not, it's even higher net worth folks. Over half of people making over $100,000, believe it or not, are living paycheck to paycheck. So this is a way that can really trap you, especially if you're spaving with a credit card.
Talk to me about that.
If you're spending money, oh boy, if you're spending money you can't afford with that credit card, it's those double-digit rates that have gotten even higher in this inflationary environment, and it just is nearly impossible to get caught up, and that really takes a bite into your savings. It can really affect your retirement long-term.
Wow, if someone, you were mentioning there with the credit card that if you're already in debt, Tony, and then you whip out the cards thinking that, hey, I'm getting savings on the other end, but are you really, when you're looking at double-digit credit card interest rates?
Yeah, you're really not saving at all. And so many of us, I went through it, Frankie. Early in my life, I was a single father, had 2 kids, and racked up about $30,000 in credit card debt. I wasn't out clubbing. I was buying diapers and formula and groceries, but it was just beyond what I was earning. And it was really challenging. For me, what I needed to do was really sit down and create a budget, understand what I was spending and what I was bringing in from an income standpoint. So many of us are spending money in an area that we might not be aware of, and that can really add up over time. Once I got that down, there's really 2 methods to knock out that credit card debt. First one is what we call the snowball method, and that's taking your smallest balance and working hard to get that paid off. Now, you always have to pay the minimum on all of them, but the idea here psychologically is once you pay that first one off, you're going to have a great sense of accomplishment. That's going to drive you to do the rest. The other is a more mathematical approach. You take the highest interest rate, pay that one off first, because that's the one where you're losing most of the money to interest, and then start to work your way through. But you want to make it painful. I got a little whiteboard from the store at the time. I hung it up right in my bathroom, so I had to see it every morning, and it just really motivated me to work on that and get that paid off.
Yeah, when we achieve being debt-free, how do we stay that way? That's the big question here.
Yeah, you want to stay there when it comes down to that budget. None of us like to make a budget, but you really have to understand what's going in and out. Nowadays, there's some great apps that you can track your budget. You can have monthly amounts that are set aside for different things. Most of the local credit unions will allow you to set up savings accounts for things like holidays or birthdays or vacation, so you can separate that money out. And you always want to think about retirement. This is a tough concept, especially if you're living check to check. But I want to see people putting about 10 to 15% of their income into their retirement accounts. You want to pay yourself first. So set up your budget where you're living after you've taken that money out. Most of my clients, Frankie, in retirement that have 7 figures in savings, they weren't big earners. They just saved for a long, long time, and they prioritize themselves, and it really adds up over time.
One of the things that I had to do, I think it was last year, was go and look, and it's hard to because there's an anxiety to it, but to go and look at all the subscriptions that you have and all the forgotten subscriptions and how many hundreds of dollars you're paying for random things.
Yeah, all of us fall subject to that. It's so easy to sign up for those. You see these free trials. A month later, they start charging you. You don't realize it. That's a great exercise to go through to really cut back on your monthly spending.
Tony, we appreciate you all as always. Thank you so much.
Good to see you, my friend.